Hello, everybody. Welcome to Live at 5. It's Monday, November 26th. I'm Beth Stevens.
I'm Paul Wontorek.
And we are here with Miss Caitlin Moynihan.
Hello.
And a fantastic special guest.
We do. Well, I want to say it's after Thanksgiving. We're in the holiday season. Ann Harada is here from Holiday Inn. And you may or may not know her as Christmas Eve from Avenue Q. Of course you do. But
Now
first,
she's a paper mill.
But now she's at Paper Mill doing her thing. So we will get to that. But first, our top 5.
You only have a few more weeks left to catch the beat.
Oh, the beat never ends.
Beat never ends.
This cast has got the beat forever. Head Over Heels is closing. That's what she's trying to say. It's closing January 6th at the Hudson Theater.
So you've got a little more time.
What?
Got a little more time to see it.
Oh, yeah. No, I mean, you have like the holiday season. It started June 23rd. It opened July 26th. It will have played 188 performances at the time of closing. Of course, you know it. It is the story of Arcadia.
Of course.
Set to the music of the Go-Go's and is directed by Michael Mayer. It is fantastic, an amazing cast. We've had a lot of them here at Live at 5, and maybe we'll continue to have them here at Live at 5. There's a really fun, over the weekend, we relaunched Side by Side by Susan Blackwell with Bonnie Milligan. Great episode. It's very yerm. Watch it, and you'll find out what that means. Anyway, go see Head Over Heels. It's a lot of fun, and it's playing through January 6th.
And this star is taking on a new shift across the pond.
Well, we are talking about Katharine McPhee, who is going to star in Waitress in the West End.
That's good news for London.
Ann Harada knows Katharine McPhee. She'll play Jenna in Waitress, as you know. London's Adelphi Theatre, beginning on February 8th and opening on March 7th. It's exciting. It's exciting to have a London version of it. I don't have to tell you who Katharine McPhee is, do I?
No, they're not
Tell
going
you
to
about
go
Smash
British.
and
It's not a
American
London
Idol.
version.
It's a London
Imagine if they
production.
It'd be like,
It's the
Katharine
same.
McPhee, you can do it, but
You
start
have to
learning
be
your
a British
accent.
Jenna. That's right. No, this is the same production. Diane Paulus and the rest of the creative team will be over there with Miss McPhee.
McPhee is so good in this role.
That's what everyone
I mean,
says.
so this is really cool. I'm excited for
It's a
it.
treat.
And this Tony winner is joining the junkyard.
So we love talking about that Cats movie. I
We
feel
never
we
stop
talk about
talking
it
about it.
Every
at
week.
least once a week.
Yeah.
At least.
At least. So this is the movie of Cats. We don't know what it's going to look like or what it's going to involve, but it seems like it's
It'll
going to
have some
involve a
cats.
lot of dancing,
Oh, and
just like
dancing.
the Broadway version of Cats. So this is really interesting. Wayne McGregor had previously, but he's a British choreographer. He was previously announced to be the choreographer of the film. And now Broadway's Andy Blankenbuehler, 3-time Tony Award winner. Andy Blankenbuehler, of course, for which 3 shows?
Oh, well, In the Heights.
Correct.
Hamilton.
Yes.
And another one.
Bandstand.
Bandstand. No, Bandstand, of course. I knew that.
Which started at Paper Mill, by the way. Fun fact, fun connection. So this is really interesting because Andy Blankenbuehler choreographed the last revival of Cats. Of Gillian Lynn is the late Gillian Lynn, who we lost a few months ago, who's the original choreographer of Cats, a legendary choreographer of Cats. Her work on that show is so iconic. And Andy Blankenbuehler added some new things, but it's going to be interesting now to see
The
how
line
much,
between honoring
yeah,
Gillian
like
Lynn's
how much
work.
of this will be new. This is a really interesting project, and of course, Andy Blankenbuehler was in Cats. Correct?
I mean, weren't all dancers in Cats at one time or another?
Yeah, everyone was in Cats except Ann Harada. Were you ever in Cats?
I'm not a dancer.
She's
Gumby Cat, Jenny Annie Dots. I have a Gumby Cat in mind. Her name is Ann Harada. Anyway, this movie is crazy. Jennifer Hudson, James Corden, Ian McKellen, Taylor Swift, Rebel Wilson, Judi Dench, Idris Elba,
It feels
Jason
like a
Derulo.
joke.
Of course, all these names are together in one movie. It's being filmed soon. It's coming out next Christmas, December 20th, 2019. Can't wait.
And this Shakespeare veteran is taking on the crown for this new adaptation.
in case you didn't know what Caitlin meant.
No, I don't
by
even know.
that.
That was
I don't know what she's
that
talking
was
about.
tough getting out. That was tough getting
That was
out.
a little
I'll be
bit,
real with you.
No clue.
It was enigmatic. We're talking about Al
Trying hard.
Pacino. Al Pacino is going to do a big screen version of King Lear. King Lear is the hot Shakespeare property this season. Of course, he's done a lot of Shakespeare. That's why you said Shakespeare veteran. He did The Merchant of Venice. He was Shylock. He did Richard III very famously, Looking for Richard. Now, there are a lot of people who want to play this role right now. So Ian McKellen and Glenda Jackson are doing King Lear.
Everybody always wants to do this role, right?
Yeah, but not always on Broadway,
I'm
which
waiting
is
for Ann
happening.
Harada as King Lear. No,
after she does
shake her
Jenny
hand.
Annie dots or whatever.
Sure.
She'll move on. She's got a wide range, so she does. She's not into it, so we'll let Al Pacino do
neither.
it. We'll let Al Pacino do it. So he's going. Oscar nominee Michael Radford will direct the movie. It begins filming in early 2019. You know who Al Pacino
Wait,
is?
it doesn't start filming for another year?
Well, no, it's going to be 2019 in about a month.
Okay.
I'm
It
just-
could be next month.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
Okay, just take it down. That's all you need to know. We don't know when it's coming out.
Can you
It's
imagine
King
if
Lear.
now this is the lost opportunity.
Here we go.
Al Pacino should have been Gus the theater cat.
You never know. Has that been
Cats.
cast?
You never know.
We will probably be
We
talking
don't
about
know
that
who's
later
playing
this
Gus
week.
the theater cat. And then
There are a lot of cats. How
Growl
many-
Tiger's Last Stand.
how
It's the
many
whole
cats
thing.
are in Cats?
It's a whole thing.
Too many. That's the answer.
And even more celebrities are signing on for this hilarious New York premiere.
They are because they only have to come and do something for a couple hours, right? I mean, celebrity autobiography is.
We talk about that every week as well.
This is another new thing we keep talking about. So this is, it's been around forever. People come and they stand on stage and they read outrageous, funny, moving excerpts from famous people's autobiographies. And it's on Broadway. It's been sort of a benefit thing and an off-Broadway thing for
That's
many
right.
years. Now, Mr. Matthew Broderick and Mr. Tony Danza have both signed on. Let's see, when is this happening? Matthew Broderick will appear in tonight's opening performance.
This is a last-minute addition.
So Matthew Broderick is right now reading they probably just handed him a book, and he's like, "What am I reading?" And
Right.
that's
right.
what he's
That's
doing.
how it works. Yeah.
And then Tony Danza, how you doing? That wasn't really Tony.
I don't know what's
December 10th. These are all at the Marquee Theater. It's a Monday night thing at the Marquee Theater when other magicians there. Other
The
times.
illusionists are there during
The
the week.
illusionists are there. Matthew Broderick won Tony Awards. You know that. He's in the Hall of Fame. Oh, there's a lot of information. Tony Danza was in Honeymoon in Vegas. The producers with Angie Schwarr.
With Angie Schwarr.
Watch that piece.
Do that.
I love Angie Schwarr. The Iceman Cometh, You from the Bridge. Emmy nominee for The Practice. Golden Globe nominee for Who's the Boss and Taxi. Did you know he was anyway, it makes sense. This was all created by Emmy-nominated writer performer Eugene Pack, and it's a lot of fun. So go spend a Monday night with a bunch of celebrities. Alec Baldwin's doing it too, isn't he?
Probably.
He's written his own
Yes.
memoirs. Maybe
Maybe
Tony
maybe
Danza will be
will
Alec
read it.
Baldwin, and Alec Baldwin will be Tony Danza. Everyone's written
I'm down for that.
celebrity autobiographies. Okay, I'm out.
Thank you, Paul. Caitlin, will you tell us a little bit about our guest?
Yes, we have Ann Harada in the studio with us today because she is in she's in Holiday Inn at the Paper Mill Playhouse. You may know her from being in the original cast of Avenue Q, and fun fact, she's reuniting with her former original Avenue Q co-star Jordan Gelber. He is also in Holiday Inn at Paper Mill Playhouse, and they're back together once more. Before Avenue Q, she was on Broadway in M, Butterfly, and Seussical, and she's also been on Broadway in Les Mis, 9 to 5, and Cinderella. You may also know her from this really small show called Smash. Maybe you've heard of it. I'm kidding. We all love it. Follow Ann on social media at Ann Harada and leave all of your questions for her in the comments down below. Please welcome Ann and Beth.
Yay, Ann Harada's here. Yay. How are
Thank
you
you.
doing,
I'm
Ann?
good.
It's so good to see you.
Thank you very much.
Well, first of all, how's it going with Holiday Inn?
Oh, it's great. We just opened last night. It's a fantastic cast and a really fun show, and we're having such a good time. I don't know. If you've never seen it, you should come see it.
Well,
it's
this
in the
is
tri-state area.
It's in the tri-state area. It's not far away.
No.
It's a very comfortable theater. And you're being directed by the Broadway creative team, so Gordon Greenberg and Dennis Jones, the
Yes.
choreographer. So how is it going with your, first of all, you play such a fun role.
I
right?
do, yes.
So you get to wear a lot of overalls.
I do. I wear overalls quite a bit in this show.
And I love when you get to get decked out as well. You get a little sparkle. You get a little
Oh,
moment.
yes, I know what you're talking about. Now I'm like,
You know
I
what-
do? I get decked out in this show?
Yeah, no, you
Okay,
do.
yes.
And you get to sing great Irving Berlin music. So
Well,
great.
that's sort of, to me, the whole point of doing Holiday Inn, is that I really believe in the power of the American songbook. And I feel that if there are young people out there who maybe are not as familiar with the standards as some of us older people are, that if this show could expose them to the wonders of Irving Berlin, that alone would be a good enough reason to do it. But, that you get this incredible company dancing and singing their heads off is just extra.
And it's a great Christmas show.
It is.
It's just warm and cozy and good music and great dancing.
Great dancing.
Now, you're not a dancer, but you do have to do a little movement in this show.
Yes, I count very hard. I
lips
literally
move?
I literally said to the assistant choreographer, I said, it's 10 counts of 8, and I went to college. I'm determined to memorize.
You can get there. You can do, you
I
too.
can do it. I can do it. But it's brutal for me because I'm not a good counter, and I am not a good dancer either.
But she can belt her face off.
I can.
And she's funny.
And I was in an Andy Blankenbuehler show once, so obviously we all survived that.
He put you through your paces.
He sure did, man.
So what is it like to be reunited with Jordan?
Oh, it's great. It's funny. When we were doing Avenue Q, we were much younger. Surprise. And we get along so much better now.
Well, you're not hitting him. And,
Oh,
you
no,
know,
no, I'm
yelling
not
at
hitting him
Like,
every
that was always
day
on stage.
or
though.
anything, no. But, we're both parents now, and we're just older, and I just respect him so much as an actor. I mean, he would have been here today, folks, but
Yeah, he wanted to come,
He
but
is
he's-
busy filming his TV show, Elementary, where he's a recurring character. And, I just think he's so great, and I'm so thrilled that we have a chance to sort of hang out a little bit.
So speaking of being a parent, I believe I wrote a birth announcement for your son, Elvis.
Ah.
It was a while ago.
It was.
Weren't you pregnant during Avenue Q?
Oh, absolutely.
That's
I
what I
was
thought.
pregnant. I was pregnant during the Tonys. Avenue
So no
Q.
champagne.
No, I was, when you're having to get up first thing in the morning and you're pregnant and you're not feeling well and you're doing press and you're just like, that was a really tough Tony season.
Did you wake up and say it sucks to be me?
No.
Oh, I just had to
never.
ask. I had to ask.
No, never. Because, that's a privilege very few of us get to have, is to go through that whole process. And, worked out.
It sure did.
It
Avenue
sure
Q won the
did.
Tony Award. We keep on talking about Wicked's 15th anniversary. It was also Avenue Q's 15th anniversary this year.
Yes, indeedy.
A little earlier than Wicked. And what a special night that was on Tony night. First of all, it was one of those things where all the predictions went one way, and then there was a surprise. Do you have a memory of that night?
Oh my God! Well, what about when they had all the screens up on top of
That's true. Yes.
of the stage, and it was like Best Musical, Wicked.
So they announced it, Avenue Q won, but behind them, the screen said
Wicked.
There was anticipation. That was incorrect at the time. I mean, that was a huge gasp. Everybody gasped. There was a lot of gasping.
Oh, you should have seen us backstage. We were
Yeah, what happened?
hysterical. Well, here's the thing: we had sort of been clearing a path for Idina Menzel. Do you know what I mean?
The
'Cause
Avenue Q cast parted.
We parted
I
because
see.
it's it's not going to be us. Fine. And then it was us. And then we had to get to the stage, and it was so crazy. We were out of our heads. We did not know what we were doing.
That
It
was fun.
so
I
exciting.
love to be surprised at the Tony Awards.
Yeah, me too. Although,
But it's one of those things everyone's always going to remember. But that was a really special
It
experience.
was.
So you're from Hawaii.
I am.
I want to hear about your first experience with theater.
Wow. I think it was when my parents took me to a touring production of The Sound of Music.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I have no idea who was in that production. But then I remember being taken to a touring production of You're a Good Man, Charlie Brown, and Jonathan Hadari was in the cast. And later, my first equity show, I played his daughter.
Wow.
And I flipped out. It was the greatest.
You were starstruck.
I was starstruck. And it was also just sort of like a nice kind of no, this
Full
is
circle.
meant to be, and you belong, and it's going to be okay.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
And okay, I could be wrong here. Did you know Barack Obama? Not that everyone in Hawaii knows
I
everybody.
didn't know him,
you
but we
the
went
same
to the same
systems.
high school. He was 2 years ahead of me in school, but we didn't hang out because he was a jock and I was a drama nerd. Now, I
Gotcha.
realize I'm telling you the setup to High School Musical, but
Which you did.
which I have done, but that did not happen.
So you're not getting a Christmas card from the Obamas.
No,
But you could send them one.
I could.
I'm just saying.
I'm sure they would respond. They're so lovely.
So it's a holiday season. How many people yell at you on the street and call you Christmas Eve? Does it still happen?
It does still happen occasionally. My husband always says, you're a household name if the household is on 45th Street. And it's sort of true because if I'm walking in the theater district, I do get that a lot.
I think that's kind of awesome.
I think it's fair.
I love it. I actually made the mistake of listening to some Avenue Q today, and now it's going to be in my head for the next at least 3 weeks.
I
So
don't think that's a bad thing.
no, it's not. It's so clever. Anyway, I know you guys have questions, so we're going to get to our. Oh, Caitlin's nodding her head. So we have a lot of questions.
Yeah.
So take it away, Caitlin.
Sure thing. So Kyra, she says that she's a student at Montclair State University, and she was there watching during tech and working the dress rehearsal. She said it looks amazing, and she loves it. What is your favorite thing about being in Holiday Inn?
My favorite thing
Well,
about
it was tech, wasn't it? I'm sure
it was tech. Oh my God. My favorite thing about being in Holiday Inn is making my instant costume changes on time. Because literally all I get are notes like, could you just get on stage a little sooner for that scene? And I'm like, nope, I can't. I can't. I don't have pants on. So, it's like we're doing our best. But it's definitely one of those shows where the backstage is almost as interesting as
It's probably
on
just as
stage.
choreographed as what's going on stage.
Well, theoretically it is, but then things happen,
Well, live theater. It's
That's
exciting.
right. It's very exciting.
And glamorous.
I love that. John says that although you're not a dancer, which dance scene would you want to be involved in most in Holiday Inn?
What dance scene would I want to be involved in most?
Yeah.
Which one would you like to
Which
watch?
one would you want to dance? If
Well,
you could dance.
If you could dance, which one would you want to dance? That makes
Yeah.
sense.
Firecrackers. Because it's a big tap number where the ensemble comes on in these cute little sailor suits. And that's sort of my dream, being able to fit into a sailor suit.
I love that. Gotta have a dream.
Yeah.
We all
Dream
have
of
a
a sailor
dream.
suit.
I love that. Alexandra asks, you've done a lot of great shows in your career, but which one do you feel like has challenged you the most and why?
Ooh, that's
Ooh, that's
interesting.
deep.
You guys are feeling deep today. I
All
love it.
right.
Well, honestly, I guess I would have to say the one that I did in Williamstown this past summer, The Closet, which is a new Douglas Carter Bean play starring Matthew Broderick, who's doing Celebrity Autobiography
You know everybody.
tonight.
We just found out, yeah.
And Brooke Seshmatskas and Jessica Hecht, just it was a great cast. And just to do a new play kind of that changed all the time, that was being kind of constantly rewritten. And, I love that whole process so much. And it happens so rarely for me to get to do like a new play. So I think that was a real challenge, but like the most fun ever.
And you worked with Douglas Carter Bean on Cinderella.
Oh, yes,
Did he
indeed.
write this one with you in mind?
He did. How kind of you to ask.
Yes, I had a feeling. So that must have been especially
Oh, no, it's
cool.
thrilling. It's
Yeah.
so thrilling. But then even more really pressure to kind of like bring it to life and make it as real and true as possible. So, I would say that was one of the great experiences of my career.
And so recent. That's awesome.
I love that. Oh, and Mary said that you said earlier that you loved being able to be involved in American songbook
Yes.
thing. What other American songbooks would you love to be a part of one day or be able to sing out?
Oh, gosh.
These are deep today.
These are deep.
They've been thinking
They've
all
been
throughout the
thinking.
holiday weekend.
Well, I love Cole Porter. I'd love to do an Anything Goes sometime.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to do a Lyrics and Lyricists in January at the 92nd Street Y, a Rodgers and Hart show conceived by Santino Fontana, our friend.
Wow.
And I did an American Songbook for Lincoln Center. I did one of those shows.
You did a concert.
A concert of,
Were you able to put together that song list for yourself, or how does
Oh
that
yeah,
work?
no, you're able to put together that song list for yourself, but I had to make sure all the composers were American. That was just me.
There you go.
Like
Yeah.
I really want to make sure this happens. So, and it was, really fun. I just believe in it so much. I just think it's so important because part of the pleasure of doing a show like Holiday Inn is that the songs are kind of in your DNA.
Oh, yeah.
Like you hear them and you feel a certain way, whether or not
You probably don't know when you learn them.
that's
They're
right.
just always
They're
with
just
you.
sort of always with you, and I feel like that's important that we have a shared vocabulary, especially in the theater. That's sort of our thing.
That's our thing. I love that. And we have time for one more question. Caitlin.
Yeah, let's do. Oh, this one's fun. Okay, so Tim wants to know what it was like to do the one night concert of Into the Woods.
Oh, the scariest thing ever. Trying to sing The Witch, not really knowing it perfectly, that whole pressure. And then you get through beans, and then at the end you've got to do Last Midnight. Horrible, like so much pressure, like just scared the whole time, but so much fun, obviously, because you're getting a chance to do something that you might not ever get a chance to do. That's the joy of doing these kind of one night only concert things.
Yeah, you get to. It's hard work, but it pays off.
Well, sure. I mean, it'd be even better if you had more time and rehearsal, but
Wink,
you
wink.
do
nudge,
what you
nudge.
can. You do what you can.
Well, thank you for coming, Ann.
It's my pleasure.
Guys, go see Holiday Inn at Paper
Please
Mill
do.
Playhouse. It's in the tri-state area. I think you've heard that already. It's so much fun. It's the perfect holiday
There's
show.
a train.
There's a train. Caitlin, will you take us on that?
Yes. Thank you guys so much for tuning in today. We are live at 5 every single day on Facebook. You can listen to us in a podcast version by searching for #live@5 and hitting that subscribe button. Be sure to tune in tomorrow and we talk to Matt Doyle about his upcoming holiday concert at Feinstein's 54 Below.